What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Tkinter tutorial video. In this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to convert your Tkinter application to an executable. So I know I said I was going to do the trading next, but I want to go ahead and get the executable out of the way, and then we'll talk about trading and all of that. So I've held off on doing the conversion to an executable because doing the conversion can bring in all kinds of bugs. So what we may encounter in this conversion may not be exactly what you might encounter in a conversion as well. I mean, if you do the exact same code as me, you should encounter the exact same issues. But otherwise, like if you add more code to this, or as we add trading and we bring in the various API connection scripts and stuff like that to do automated trading and that kind of stuff, as we bring in more and more stuff, it's only going to get more and more complex. So I figured now is a kind of a good time to go ahead and add it. So first of all, we're going to be using CX Freeze. Let me get to it here. CX Freeze. Let's see, CX Freeze download. So if you just do like a Google search or something like that, you'll find yourself on this page right here. Now, the only problem with this is apparently what you might get from the downloads is you get a version that isn't patched, and even though it says the last version 4.33, supposedly the superior place to download, and this is where I've always got mine, is from this website here. So I'll put this link in the description. I share this website a lot. It's just for Windows binaries. So if you're not on Windows, then you would probably use this method. But or apt-get python-cx freeze probably, or something along those lines. So this is what we're going to use. So download the applicable version to yourself. Make sure you get 4.3.3 and obviously match bit version and Python version. Once you have that, you're ready to actually write the code. So this right here, Tkinter vid 28, is our current code, and what we want to do is write a conversion script for our code here. Now I do have a much more basic video on CX Freeze, so if you want to know a little bit more about how CX Freeze actually works, do check out that video. If I remember to, I will put a link in the description. With that, let's go ahead and get started here. So the first thing we want to do is just basically come over into your, wherever the directory of your script is, and we want to just make a blank script. So I'm going to take intro, and what I'm going to go ahead and do is just copy paste intro just to have a file, and we're going to call this one setup. So the actual file name here is setup.py, and I'm going to go ahead and open edit with idle here. Whoops. And we'll just delete that for now, and we'll come up here, and now we're going to do the various imports that we need. So first we need to import cx_freeze. Then we're going to import sys for system, and then we're also going to import matplotlib because we gotta. So the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is so first we'll do base equals none. Now for the most of you that should work. If you end up having a problem with base later on, comment below and I'll do my best to help you guys out. But anyway, so do that, and then we'll throw a quick if statement here. So if sys.platform is equal to win32, so if that's the case, then we're actually going to say the base is instead win32 GUI, like so. I'm on a 64-bit machine, so this won't really do anything for me, but if you're on 32-bit, you'll hopefully find that solves one of the problems. Next, we're going to specify the executables section of our code. So now we're going to say executables, and this is going to equal a list basically. And in here we basically put a bunch of parameters. So first you say what we're going to execute, what is the base of that execution, and then anything else added onto it. In our case, we have a window icon, and so we kind of want that icon to stick all the way through, so it'll be like the actual icon to the executable. So that's kind of neat, so we'll do that as well. So first of all, the executables is going to equal cx_F freeze dot E executable And then the first parameter here is going to be the actual file name of what we're what we're going to convert. In my case, anyways, that's Tkinter vid 28. Whatever your file name is, put it in. Obviously .py. Base is going to equal base, no problem. And then icon for the actual program icon, we're going to use client icon.ico. So that's the icon that I made way long ago. If you don't have the exact same icon, sorry. But if you made a window icon, you can throw that in there. Otherwise, you don't have to leave that there if you don't want to. And that's it for executables. Now we're going to do cxfreeze.setup, and then here's where we put in basically all of our setup parameters and stuff. So first what we're going to add here is the name, and this is just the name of the client basically, and we're going to call it C of BDC-client. So that's the name. Then we're going to do we're going to add a bunch of options here, and this is pretty much where things get tricky. And so if you're coming across a certain problem, or you have a very specific task that you're looking to do with cxfreeze, it greatly helps to go read the docs. So I'm one of these people that really does not like to read documentation. I prefer to just look at sample code. The problem is not very many people use cxfreeze, and a lot of people haven't encountered maybe the same problems that you've encountered, or at least they haven't shared their basically answers to those problems. So kind of like here, I couldn't really find a good answer to my problems, so here I am sharing my answer with you guys, but not too many people end up doing that with cxfreeze just because it's a lesser used module, and it's slightly confusing sometimes. So anyway, check the docs if you're having problems or you have a very specific scenario that you're trying to encompass. So moving right along, options is going to equal the following. So first, we have the build_exe option, and that is going to, since it's a dictionary, so that key goes to the following. So we have first packages, and these are packages that the application is using. And we're actually using two major packages here that we want to explicitly call, and that's Tkinter and matplotlib. The other stuff is kind of acceptable. So for example, Tkinter, you don't necessarily always have to import or specify explicitly that you're using Tkinter. cxfreeze is pretty darn good about figuring that out, especially if you have like a really basic Tkinter application. But what happens is like a lot of like dialogue stuff, mostly it's dialogue, but some other things just don't come over for whatever reason. I don't know. But sometimes you can just explicitly say, hey, I'm using Tkinter, matplotlib, and whatever else. Usually it's third-party modules that you need to really be specific about, but Tkinter is not a third-party module, and I still had to do it, so just keep that in mind. So the packages Tkinter, matplotlib, and then what we're going to go ahead and do is we're also going to add another thing here, and it's going to be include_files. Now keep in mind what we're doing here. This is all under this parameter, right? Or I'm sorry, yeah. So like right here and here. So this is what's pertaining to build.exe. Okay. So include files. Really, we just have a single include file at the moment. We may find ourselves having a lot more later on, but for now it's just client icon.ico. And don't confuse that. Again, it's my understanding here that this is the icon for the actual executable application, right? This is the icon that will show up in the. This is where you put included files in your actual Python script. Okay, so like let's say you had an image or something, like an image for a button. Okay, that's where you would, in included files, that's where you would put that image path. Okay, and these are in the same directory as the script. That's why they're just straight up the image name. If they're not, like say they were in a folder called includes or something, you would obviously need to do includes / and so on. So so that's that. And now we're ready to add. We can add a few more things. Like for example, we can add version. And we can say version equals, and this is actually a string, but 0.01. And then you can add a description, and we'll say the description is C of BDC trading application, something like that, comma, and then finally executables, and then that's just going to equal executables, just like that, no period. Okay. So, man, I'm just like so itchy. I don't know, this video will probably come out, I don't even know how much long from this date that I'm filming it, but it's pretty much down the way, it's maybe even a month. But anyway, I'm from like South Texas, from Houston, and it's really humid in Houston, and now I'm up in Fort Worth, and it's extremely dry up here. Like, it's nice in the summertime because the humidity down in Houston is just brutal, but man, the dryness here, I'm like cracking up. My heel is all cracked. It's disgusting, like how dry I am. It sucks. Anyway, moving on. So that's it for our setup.py file. Boom, done. Next, what we need to do is we need to open up our, let's see, syntax lessons, and then we'll come over to the Tkinter Mega series here. So come over to the directory that's housing your actual script, hold shift, right click, and open in a command window. So inside Tkinter Mega series is where all these scripts are, and number 28 is what we're going to convert. But we're going to use obviously setup.py. So the setup.py file, by the way, is right here. Okay, so this is where I am. So now what we want to do is within Tkinter Mega series here. Let's see if I can make this big. No, I ran into this problem before, so my text will like run off the screen, but it should come out down here. Anyway, so Tkinter Mega series, and the way that we can run cxfreeze is the following. So Python setup.py, and then type build. Now, a couple of things might happen. You might have Python is not recognized. If that is the case, then you need to type C:/Python34 Python setup.py build. Okay, I'll show you that in a minute. Otherwise, you can also run out of memory. That's a bug. I don't run out of memory when I do this, but for whatever reason, I get that bug from time to time. No module name cxfreeze. We typoed cxfreeze here. Capital F there. Save. Let's go back. So for example, that was proper code, right? I did have Python, but if it says Python is not recognized, you could do C:/Python34 Python if you're using Python 3.4. Python, and then setup.py build. That's not an enter, by the way. That just is the line running over. Hit enter now. So now it's running the build. Again, I might run out of memory just because it has some bug, but looks like we're going to make it this time. Cool. It's really annoying because to fix that I have to restart, and it's really just quite annoying. So once that's done, now you're ready to go into the Mega series here, and you should have a new folder called build. Double click on build, double click on this, and here you have all your build files. Now we're going to find that we have a problem most likely, but that's okay. So here's your application. You could double click on it and it would run, but for everyone it shouldn't run. And you should get this error here probably that says name error, quit is not defined. So we've been using Python's built-in quit. For whatever reason, it does not want us to get away with that. So hit OK. That's fine. We'll come on down, or let's go back. We can delete build. We'll have to build one more time. Come on down to your original script. Open that up. And within here, these might give us some trouble too in a little bit. The fonts will likely give trouble, but we'll come back to those too. So the problem was quit. Okay, so now, see, we referenced this quit function. So for example, let's just type quit. And so we see command equals quit in a bunch of places. So what we're going to do is what we can do is say, actually we can probably just overpower the built-in quit. So let's go up to the very, very top here and just do this. Define quit and then quit. And that should be good enough. So let's save that. Come back to your build right here and just hit the up arrow one time and then rebuild it. Again, hopefully we don't run out of memory. I'm going to be angry. I know it's going to happen on one of these. I have to restart. It's so annoying when that happens. It looks like we're going to get away with it again. Oh yeah. So now back to the Mega series here. Up to build. Let's see if font gives us a trouble. So run the executable. Looks like we got away with it. So here is our executable. We can hit agree, and here's our lovely program being run as an executable. Look at that lovely that lovely ICO. We'll have to update our ICO to not be so pixely in the bar. But that's what I mean for the icon. It's like the actual program icon. But yeah, so everything, you know, pretty much works. You can change. Well, we basically went from one day to a day. You should have everything working. From here, we'll make sure that, you know, like we're able to use. Yep, everything should keep running. Add a MACD at the bottom. All right, so that's that. We've converted to an executable. Another interesting thing that you can do. Actually, two things I want to show you guys really quick. The first thing is, oh, it looks like it didn't do it. Maybe we've got a nice update. Oh, actually, no, I see him. Okay, so if we check the size of this build, we see the size is 314 megabytes. The reason, or part of the reason why it's that big, is we have all this SciPy and NumPy stuff, basically all of this. Well, if we look back at our script, we don't use SciPy, well, we're importing NumPy here. Whoops. So we do use NumPy. I forget what we're actually using NumPy for. For the array. Well, we do. So we do use some of NumPy. But if you just have SciPy and NumPy installed as a Python module, you're gonna get this nonsense, okay? And you just don't need it. And I'm pretty sure most of this stuff we don't need. We might need one of them we'll probably need, but for example, you should, like with SciPy, we could just highlight all these SciPys most likely. Okay, and we could delete them. And now we still have some pretty large NumPys, but now our file is 118 megabytes. So we lost 200 megabytes there. And, whoops, let's go back into the build here. And hopefully we won't get an error because I'll feel... Oh, did I click on the icon? Yeah. Where is our there it is. So hopefully it'll show up. Yeah, okay. So here's our program. We didn't need those things, okay? And the same thing with NumPy. Now we are using NumPy, so one of these we probably need. But just for kicks, let's just delete them all. See if we can get it. Okay, skip because we're using one. Aw, man. Okay, so these are being incorporated for some reason, I guess. But yeah, so that's that. And there's one more thing I wouldn't mind showing you guys, and that is to convert this into an actual installer. So what we can do is, when we go to build it, let's see. I guess I closed out of the window. So let me get back into the command window. And now what you can do instead is you can say something like this. You can say Python setup.py, and then you can make an MSI. So bdist_MSI. This is only if you're on Windows, and I'm on a 64-bit machine, so this will make a 64-bit installer for this application. So if you wanted to make a 32-bit installer, you would need to be on a 32-bit computer. Access denied. What? Maybe because we're running. Let's delete the original build here. And before it's like, you can't delete it. Yeah, prick. That's irritating, eh? Okay, let's just create a quick workaround here. We'll just call this that. Take the client icon and Tkinter vid 28. Hopefully you guys aren't following this, but then copy those to this temporary folder. Jerk. Oh, and then they also setup.py, so let's copy that into our temporary folder. And then now let's open up the temporary folder. Everybody knows how to get away from that. Like, I closed the application a long time ago, and it's not letting me delete the, because it says it's open, but it's not. So that's quite irritating. Anyway, so build, or this one is what we want to go into, so let's open the command window there. And then Python setup.py bdist_MSI. So this makes a installer. Hopefully we won't get an error this time. This will make an installer for a 64-bit machine. And if you're on Mac, I forget the command, but Mac does also have a similar thing where you can make like a Mac application. I forget the code, but you can look it up probably pretty easily. So once this is done, this part takes a little bit to make the final folder that we're looking for. So we'll just wait. But anyway, now whenever we run this, we'll be able to choose like what directory do we want this application installed to and all that. And it's just a single application. At first anyways, when you install it, it gives you the entire build like you had before. But it's, you know, one thing that you have to share with somebody rather than, you know, the whole folder. I suppose you could zip up the folder and share that with people or something, but this is just a little slightly more condensed way to share your program. So everything should be done. I forget if it threw it. Yeah, so it threw it into distribution. So it's just this simple folder, or file rather, 113 megabytes. So now we can double click that. It's computing space requirements, blah, 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 blah. Apparently it's really taxing to compute these space requirements. There we go. So I can install it to program files. I should also be able to install it basically right here. So like let's install it to this. So install it to this path here, all the way to this file, and then /c of BDC client. Okay. Wait for it. So it should make a new directory here. Oh, I got either Java or this. Yeah, so I'm not really sure. Sometimes it cuts out the recording when those things pop up, but I had like a window for if I needed to like accept the installation. Anyway, so then now we have this new directory. We can double click that, and like there's the exact same stuff we were looking at before. And here's our application that we can, you know, run and use. So anyways, that's that. If you guys have any questions or comments or concerns, whatever, with converting your application to an executable, please do feel free to leave your comments below. Otherwise, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for all the support and subscriptions and the donations. And until next time.